segregation is separation of different racial groups. Groups include Asians, Africans, Native Americans, Hawaiians, and all kinds of others. Jim Crow laws were state and local laws that enforced racial segregation in the southern United States. Here are a few examples.
A black male and a white male could not shake hands because it implied that both were socially equal. Blacks and whites were not supposed to eat together. Now, if they did eat together, whites were to be served first, and some sort of partition was to be placed between them. And under no circumstances was a black male to offer to light a cigarette of a white female. Whites did not use courtesy titles of respect when referring to blacks. For example, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Sir, or Ma'am. Instead, black people were called by their first name or some sort of derogatory term. White motorists had the right of way at all intersections. And lastly, if a black person rode in a car driven by a white person, the black person had to sit in the back seat or the back of a truck.
Civil rights organizations. James Farmer Jr. was a civil rights activist and leader in the civil rights movement. He co-founded CORE, which was the Committee of Racial Equality, in 1942. He was also the initiator and organizer of the Freedom Ride in 1961. Mr. Farmer was actually jailed in the summer of 1961 for those rides in Jackson, Mississippi.
We interrupt this program with a civil rights organization interview with Megan and Granny.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, Granny. I'm going to ask her a few questions about the civil rights. Well, thank you for having me. Granny, can you tell us a little bit about the NAACP? The NAACP was founded in 1908. It's a national association of advancement for colored people. And don't forget about the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Better not forget about it. And a great leader, the late Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. is still really prominent today. Thank you, Granny. And thank you for having me. Welcome to come back anytime. Bye.
Now back to your show.